Let us look at proposition number 5 of book 8 of Euclid's Elements. The proposition says plane numbers have to one another the ratio compounded of the ratios of their sides. So here, what are plane numbers? Let's say we have A is equal to B times C. So here, A is the plane number and B and C the sides of A. And this is Euclid defines it in one of the definitions of book 7. Okay, so that was plane number. Let's see how we can prove this. Given plane numbers A and B, C and D be the sides of A. Remember, C and D are the sides of A, which means C times D is equal to A. Similarly, E, F be the sides of B. So, A is equal to C times D and B is equal to E times F. We find the least numbers G, H and K that are continuously in the ratios of C, E, D, F. They are continuously proportional in the ratio C, E, D, F. So C is to E is equal to G is to H. C is to E as G is to H. Because remember, we constructed this GHK continuously proportional in the ratios of C, E, D, F. So based on that, and H is the LCM of D and E. Now, D is to F is equal to H is to K. D is to F is equal to H is to K. Based on the fact that GHK is continuously in proportion to CEDF. Now, let D times E be L. Then C is to E is equal to A is to L. How? Because remember, A is D times C and L is D times E. So that means C measures A D number of times, E measures L D number of times. So which means C measures A, E measures L, and we can write that in proportion. G is to H is equal to A is to L. How? Because C is to E is equal to G is to H and C is to E is equal to A is to L. So we can combine them and say G is to H is equal to A is to L. Now D is to F is equal to L is to B. D measures L E number of times, F measures B E number of times. So same number of times. So that means we can write it in this proportion. H is to K is equal to L is to B. H is to K is equal to L is to B. Why? Because H is to K is equal to D is to F and D is to F is equal to L is to B. So again, we can combine these two and say H is to K is equal to L is to B. Since G is to H is to K, see here G is to H is to K is equal to A is to L is to B. So X equally we can say G is to K is equal to A is to B. So that means G is to K is a compounded ratio of C times D is to E times F, because A is C times D and B is E times F. That means A is to B also is a compounded ratio of C times D is to E times F, that is of its sides. So that is proposition number 5 of book 8 of Euclid's Elements. Again, let me remind you, there is a link to a PDF book which describes all these propositions with proper references to the previous propositions that is being used here. Please feel free to download it, refer to it, And if you think somebody else can also benefit from it, please do share. That's it for now. Bye.